Hey my people, it's High Priestess CreoleQueen. It's the witching hour and I'm feeling witchy. Tonight's topic is Pulpit Pimpin and how to know when you have been spiritually exploited. Now, there are many people around the world right now who are experiencing spiritual abuse in the church. Religious or spiritual abuse is psychological manipulation and harm inflicted on a person by using the teachings of their religion. Now, it is most often directed at children and emotionally vulnerable adults. Spiritual abuse occurs in faith communities or families where beliefs take precedence over individual need. And this leaves the individual confused and doubting themselves. Spiritual abuse often takes form by shaming people into having right behavior, right thought, or association with the right people. It can also occur when a person's boundaries are violated, such as being coerced into giving more financially than they are able to give. Being made to deny one's sexuality, or being sexually manipulated by one who claims to be a spiritual leader. Religious abuse can have long-term psychological consequences, such as the victim developing phobias or long-term depression and anxiety. They may have a sense of shame that persists even after they have left the religion. Even after they have left the religion. A person can be manipulated into avoiding a beneficial action such as medical treatment, or they could be coerced into engaging in harmful or criminal behavior. Now, as y'all know, I'm a religious abuse survivor. Recovering from religious abuse can be very frightening. It can be a very frightening experience because healing usually takes place outside of the church where the abuse occurred. And often the church has deemed what lies outside of the faith as evil. So that makes it difficult for the victim to trust outsiders, to trust therapists and other people who can help them, other people who are outside of the faith, okay? But in my case, I reached out to my ancestors. I went back to my roots. And with the help of my ancestors, I have found empowerment and healing. I was a member of 4 Christian churches in my life. 4 Christian churches. They were all deliverance ministries that claimed to help set people free from bondages. And in each of them, I experienced spiritual abuse. Witchcraft in the church is real. I just want to say that. Witchcraft in the church is real. First of all, they are seducing you and perpetuating mass deception and fraud. Religion promotes false teachings, sin, and judgment by constantly telling you how wretched, how sinful, and how wicked you are, and how much you need salvation. When they know that it is you who saves yourself. They know that. They know that. Okay? And I used to be a minister, so I should know. Okay? They know that. They know that it is you who saves yourself. They judge you. They make you believe that you are sinful and evil because your life is messed up. But they are the fucking ones who are all fucked up because most of them have serious psychological and spiritual issues. They don't know who they are outside of the Bible. They are not themselves. They are what the Bible tells them that they are. And in my opinion, these people are not in a healthy mental state. Yeah, I know that I'm going to get a lot of shit behind that. I really don't give a fuck. Okay? I really don't give a fuck. Now, the very first sermon that I heard was a message on salvation called "The Wages of Sin is Death." The pastor made me feel so guilty over sins I had committed against God. You know, I felt so guilty that I didn't hesitate to go to the altar to get saved. Saved, yes. They exercise forms of mind control such as hypnosis, brainwashing. It's a type of brainwashing. And emotional manipulation over the congregation. And they tell you that it is the Holy Spirit that is calling you to give your life to Jesus. But what you are really feeling is condemnation and judgment from the pastor and the entire church. You know, visitors who go to church, they're already feeling down on themselves. But then when they go to church, they are bombarded with more guilt, more condemnation, which forces them to want to get saved and become a member of the church. And once they become members, they are financially exploited and manipulated into giving more than what they are able to. And this right here, is called Pulpit Pimpin. That's right, I said it. There are pimps in the motherfucking pulpit prostituting the gospel for financial gain. Yes, prostituting the gospel for financial gain. I believe that any spiritually based group or organization that has a dual reality. Let me explain that in a minute. A dual reality. An example would be insiders versus outsiders, believers versus non-believers. That is an indication that the group or the organization can be spiritually abusive. Religiously based psychological abuse can involve using teachings to subjugate through fear or indoctrinate a person in the beliefs of their particular religion while suppressing other perspectives. Okay? You know, in these churches, you know, we were constantly being taught about sin and unrighteousness, and we were condemned for the sinfulness of our human frailties. You know, human frailties and issues were not allowed, and they were described as us operating in the flesh or the ego, okay, which was considered to be carnal and wicked, and we were admonished to live above sin. I changed everything about myself. The woman that you see today, I wasn't this woman, okay? I had changed everything about myself that was considered to be unique. And that was the beginning of self-hatred. You know, I would never criticize my leaders, and I feared their judgment. I feared God. I feared Satan. I feared demons. I feared witches. And I feared hell. You know, my perceptions had come from the personal interpretations of a man who is only human, just like you and me. Someone who did not have all of the answers. Okay? But because he wore a title, I believe that he had all of the answers, and I believe that he could help me. So, you know, I believe that any leader who enforces compliance or punishes you for non-compliance, you know, if they maintain a false public image, or if they claim to have ultimate enlightenment, ultimate knowledge, they are all knowing, they know every fucking thing. That is a person who is a con artist, a fraud. And you know we don't like no fucking frauds. So, physical abuse in a religious context often takes the form of beatings or even murder in the belief that the person is possessed by evil spirits. Now, my deliverance from demonic possession was very traumatic. Okay. Now, this was when I was a Christian. Okay. My deliverance from demonic possession was very traumatic. I got involved with a ministry. It was a married couple who were both so-called deliverance ministers. Okay, they were actually con artists. They were con artists. I was confused about everything that I was experiencing, and these people claimed to have all of the answers. They told me that I needed deliverance from evil spirits that were tormenting me. They told me that Jesus came to set the captives free. They told me that I was in bondage to Satan and I needed to fight for my soul so that I can go to heaven. They told me that I needed to renounce Satan and his demons and that I had given them legal rights. I had given them legal rights to torment me because I was sinning against God. During my deliverance, it's like they hypnotized me. And they tapped into a very deep and dark part of myself that had been locked away for a very, very long time and was suppressed, And when my dark side was triggered, I had very violent manifestations and my demons tried to kill me. They told me that it wasn't me, but it was a demon that was living inside of me. They told me that I had many demons that needed to be cast out of me so that I could be free to serve God and be blessed. That's what they told me. Yeah. So, your dark side can operate on its own without your full awareness. In my spiritual counseling sessions, my dark side came forward and was responding to the abuse that I was experiencing at the time. And it was like I was sitting in the background watching it all play out. My dark side came forward and said things using my vocal cords and did things with my body that I had no control over. I had violent manifestations, and they told me that I was breaking free of demonic possession, and I was told that I had legions of demonic spirits that they had to cast out of me. But in reality, they were trying to cast out pieces of me, parts of my personality. Okay? And it was a very traumatic experience. The ancestors understood the need to honor all parts of the psyche. The parts of the psyche were worshipped as gods and goddesses. We need to learn to consciously control the actions of our darker half instead of denying it and trying to act like it's not there. When you ignore the gods, they will turn against you and they will destroy you. Any part of yourself that you disown within turns against you. You know, this is why when you are going through deliverance, your demons cry out. They will say, no, I'm not leaving. This is my house. I won't let them go. This is why you are having nightmares of you fighting demonic spirits. You know, you hate yourself. You know, this is why you are afraid. This is why you're dealing with so much fear. This is why you are so terrified of Satan, demons, hell. You know, the devil always gets blamed for everything. This is why you see dark figures around the house at night. This is why you are being tormented. You know, they are reminding you that they are there, and they are reminding you that you will never get rid of them, no matter how hard you try. Okay? You're fighting yourself, denying yourself, rejecting yourself, and being somebody that you are not. You are becoming what they want you to be. You know, your demons love you. They love you. They are there for your protection and guidance, and they never leave you. Okay, they never leave you. So these people are just trying to deceive you. These people are just trying to get you to be a certain way. Okay? They want you to be a mental slave. You can't think for yourself. You need people to tell you who you are. You need people to tell you how to behave. You want people to judge you. You know, you just a pawn in the pulpit pimping game. You know? And this is psychological and spiritual abuse, because they are teaching you to deny your true self. You know, everything that's unique about your personality. And they give you a false identity of being good and all about love and light and positive vibes. You know, now this keeps you from connecting with your dark side. Your dark side, your personal demons, your ancestors. They don't want you to connect with your ancestors. You know, communication with the dead is a sin in the Bible. Even watching my channel, communication with witches, association with witches, that is also considered a sin. So if you're a Christian, you shouldn't even be watching this video. But I know y'all watching. And you're watching for a reason. Because you need help. And you know, it makes sense why they would want to try to stop you from connecting with the gods. Because they want you to be weak. You know. And they know that having a connection with your ancestors, your blood, you know, you will discover your true power. And you are most definitely a threat. Because you are God. You are God. You are a God. Okay? Denying that part of yourself will cause you to fuck up your life, hurt your relationship with your spouse, your family, your friends, your professional relationships, as well as your leadership abilities. Now, there are some things that you must do when you are recovering from religious or spiritual abuse. Here is a meditation ritual that you can do to help you to heal and reconnect with your dark side, okay? Now you will need 1 black candle. You'll need a mirror. Okay, and you're going to create a sacred space. You're going to create an altar. Okay, so number 1, it is important. It is very important to first process your past and give yourself permission to grieve it and make your peace with it. Okay, write down specific scenes and details of the abuse. Number 2, understand exactly what happened to you, what actually happened to you, and find your voice. Look at yourself in the mirror and speak your truth. Say what happened, and during this time when you're speaking what happened into the mirror, when you're looking at yourself, your demon might manifest. Your dark side might manifest. You might begin to see things. Your face might start to contort a bit. You will see it. Okay, but don't be alarmed. It's just you. It's all you. Okay. Number 3, forgive yourself. Love yourself and give yourself a hug. Set a daily intention that you are spiritually healed. Celebrate yourself. Praise yourself. Give honor to yourself. Okay? Everything you did in church to something that was outside of yourself, you give that back to yourself. Okay? You give that love back to yourself. That self-love. Okay? Number 4, give yourself permission to be who you are. Listen to what your heart is crying out for. Give yourself permission to say no to things that you don't want in your life. Make the unconscious conscious. And make the unacceptable acceptable. And number 5, give yourself permission to connect to your roots. All of your roots. You don't have to just stick with, one particular group of ancestors. You could serve them all if you wanted to. Connect to your roots. Explore other spiritual practices and traditions. A lot of people is afraid to step outside of tradition because of fear. Do what the fuck you want to do. Say what the fuck you want to say. And be who the fuck you want to be. Number 6. Trust yourself. Okay, trust yourself. You have self-authority. Okay, you have self-authority. This means if something does not agree with you, you reject it. You block it. Fuck it. Okay? Learning who you are and standing for what you believe is a spiritual discipline. Trust your judgment. Trust your own wisdom. Stop listening to other motherfuckers. Trust your experience. Okay? Trust your experience. Now, spiritual abuse can cause post-traumatic stress. I deal with that from time to time, but I've learned how to maintain it, and I've learned how to manage. It comes with depression and anxiety, you know, and it may be necessary to seek professional help to work through the abuse, and a trained professional such as myself can help you sort out the pieces of the abuse and identify the next steps to healing. Okay, if you identify with religious or spiritual abuse, church abuse, and you feel that you need help, you can email me at priestess.creolequeen@yahoo.com. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Dark blessings. Peace.